So we're going to continue to go through my Captain Marvel Adventures collection. And this time we have Captain Marvel Adventures number 51 from January 1946, and this is a very high grade 9.4. Um, there are actually 123 of this. I have no idea why there are so many graded copies of this one, but there are 123. There is a 9.6 and 11 9.4s. It's off white to white pages. There's an Otto Binder story, and it's a CC Beck cover, so it's a pretty cool cover. Again, don't know why there's so many of this one. So the next one I have, this is Captain Marvel Adventures number 131. This one has just 12 graded copies, just a dozen for CGC. And I think that CGC is still considered the number one comic grading company. There is another one, and I can't remember, CBGC or something like that. And they do have I think they call it a registry. CGC calls it a census, showing all the comics that have been graded and put in cases. And I went on there, but unfortunately it requires a login. As far as I could tell, it requires a login. And although they weren't asking for any money, I just didn't feel like doing it. So I don't know how many from that company there are. The only thing I will say is that I can imagine with 3 or 4 different companies doing this, that there would be a financial incentive to be generous with your grading. So I might have more faith in older graded comics, but I have no evidence that they've actually done it. So this 9.4 is the highest grade of all. And I did check on Comic Price Guide. I was curious what something like this would go for. And according to Comic Book Price Guide, a 9.4 raw is $300. A graded copy would be around $600. So $600 for the highest grade, the world's highest known grade copy. People might be surprised that it's not more. This is from April 1952, and this is a Crowley copy. Says it right up there. So I don't know what I paid for it. I don't know if I have an invoice for this one. I'd have to look around. But yeah, that's what it claims is $600 for a 9.4 Captain Marvel. I'm a popular character. So another 9.4. This is number 127 from December 1951 with off-white to white pages. We have Otto Binder and Al Lederman stories, and of course a CC Beck cover. This is from a different collection, which is the Davis Crippen D copy. Don't ask me anything more about it because I don't know, but I do remember the name. But that is from another known collection. Most of mine are not from any known collection, but apparently that's a famous one. And I remember years ago I went online and it would go through all the various famous comic book collections out there. Basically, some person who collected comics from the 40s or 50s or 60s or whatever and kept them in really good condition and had some really important issues here. So this one has just 19 graded copies with 2 9.6s and 1 9.4. So this is the third highest graded copy. I went on price charting, and price charting will also give prices for all sorts of different items. But unfortunately, I don't really put any stock in it for these particular comics because the problem is there's so little data to go from that it's really hard to tell. What I will say is that as far as Comic Book Price Guide and the accuracy of their prices, if I go on, like, say, eBay, and somebody lists it on eBay for something above or well above the price on Comic Book Price Guide, they don't sell. And I've seen comics sit on there for years and years and years and not sell. So if those prices are inaccurate, I don't think they're that far off. So for that one comic that was listed at $600, yeah, that's probably about what it's worth. Probably not worth much more than that. But price charting I found pretty useless, and it's not price charting's fault. It's just the data is too. There's not enough data for it. Number 55 from March 1946, and this is a 9.2. There is one 9.4 and two 9.2s. So I have the second, tied for the second highest graded. Again, I had a lot of highest grades, so I'm assuming that a lot of these have dropped down. So this is another one where he goes around to a city, in this case, Columbus, Ohio, it says down there. Columbus, Ohio. We have yet again a CC Beck cover. I'm not sure I've seen one that wasn't a CC Beck cover. But we also have an Otto Binder story. And then I actually remember this one because I kind of went back and forth with the seller on this one because I was only willing to pay so much, and I finally did get it. I think I got it at the price I wanted, or maybe somewhere in the middle. This is number 79 from December 1947, and there are three 9.2s, so this is tied with two others for the highest grade, the highest known grade, with off-white pages. Captain Marvel presents the world's worst actor. So that is another 5 issues in my Captain Marvel Adventures collection.